Hello everyone, today we want to do the class B. We want to follow the shearing sheet that they're going to give you guys, and you guys want to use it in the DMV. This sheet is going to tell you exactly what you need to inspect to pass the pre-trip, air brakes, in-cab inspection, and your light check. All we need to do is follow the sheet. Okay, so we're going to do the class B. This is automatic truck. Because it's automatic truck, we have to check the wheel. And when you check the wheel, you're gonna put a check in the real wheel. You're gonna put it right here. Okay? When you finish your pre-trip and everything, make sure you guys pick it up, the check wheel, okay? So beginning with the follow the list that we're going to do, we're gonna sit right here on the driver's side. We're gonna close the door. And before we do anything, we have to put the seat belt. When we put the seat belt, we're ready to go, okay? Remember, we're gonna follow the sheet. And according to the sheet, the first thing that we're going to do is gonna be the air brakes. Okay, we're gonna do the air brakes, and then we're gonna do the in-cab inspection, okay? So to start the brakes, I want you guys, when you guys drive into the DMV, make sure you guys bleed the air. So in the primary air gauge, it will show 75 psi. This is your primary air gauge. This is your secondary air gauge. Okay, primary air gauge, put it on 75 psi. And we start. We're gonna tell to the examiner of the DMV, today I'm gonna perform my air brake test. For all my tests, I will use in my primary air gauge. Make sure you guys point it. Okay, so first, I'm gonna do a safety start. My truck is in neutral. My spring brake is applied. So I'm gonna put the key in the on position. And I'm telling to the examiner that my ABS and my region light was on and then go off in less than 10 seconds. This is a good test. Now I want to wait for all my needles to settle. Once my needles are settled, I'm going to start the truck. First test I'm going to perform is my governor cutout test. For this test to be a success, my governor should cut up no higher than the 140 psi. To accelerate the process, I'm going to press the fuel, not exceeding the 1200 RPMs. That is 1000 RPMs. Steady, 11, and 12. Now I'm gonna look in the needle in the primary air gauge. When you see the needle getting close to this lane, release the fuel. That's my governor cutout. My governor cutout at 125 psi. This is a success test because it's not higher than the 140 psi. The next test I'm gonna perform is my leakage test. To perform the leakage test, I will put the truck, press the brake a little bit, put the truck on drive, and then I'm gonna shut up the vehicle. And then I'm gonna put the key in the on position. I'm gonna wait for the needles to settle. Okay, my needles are settled. So I'm gonna release my spring brake. Once again, I'm gonna wait for the needle and the primary air gauge to settle. Once the needle is settled, I'm gonna press the service brake all the way to the floor and hold it. And then look it on the primary air gauge. My needle has settled at 102 psi, and I'm gonna start my minute now. For this test, you can use in your watch or you can use in your phone, but you have to time it 105 seconds. Okay, so you're gonna do your minute for 65 seconds. I'm sorry, 65 seconds. So you're gonna do your minute, okay? And always look in the needle to make sure you don't lose any PSI. My minute is up. My needle is still at 102 PSI. This is a success test because I don't lose more than 3 PSI in this vehicle. And release the brake. The next test I'm gonna perform is my low air warning test. For this test to be success, my warning light and buzzer should come out no lower than 55 PSI. To perform the test, I will fend in my brake. Fending the brake means that you press it and release it. Press it and release it. At the same time that you press it and release it, you're gonna look the primary air gauge. My warning light and buzzer come out at 62 PSI. This is a success test because it's no lower than 55 PSI. And then release the brake. The next test I'm gonna perform is my spring brake pop-up test. For this test to be success, my spring brake should pop up no lower than 20 PSI. For this test, I want you guys to concentrate on the spring brake to make sure it pop up. So we continue fending the brake. My spring brake pop up at 25 PSI. This is a success test because it's no lower than 20 PSI. Now, I'm going to start my vehicle again. I'm going to put the truck in neutral. My spring brake already applied, so we're not performing the safety start. Now I'm going to accelerate the process to build the air to the normal pressure, which is going to be another governor cutout test. To accelerate the process, I will press in the fuel, not exceeding the 1200 RPMs. Once again, be steady on the fuel. That is 1000, 11, and 12. And we're gonna hold it, and we're gonna look the primary air gauge. Remember, it's gonna be another governor cutout test. You guys gonna tell it to the examiner. I'm gonna build the air to the normal pressure to perform the mechanical test. In the mechanical test, I'm gonna test my spring brake. Once I test my spring brake, I will test in my service brake. Release the fuel. There's the governor cutout. My governor cutout at 123 PSI. This is a success test. Now, I'm gonna perform in my mechanical test. I'm gonna test my parking brake. Okay, so I'm gonna put the truck in the gear, and I'm gonna give a tug. Press the fuel. This is a success test. My spring brake hold this vehicle in place. Now I'm gonna test my service brake. Before I test my service brake, I'm gonna release my spring brake. I'm gonna move forward less than 5 miles per hour. When I move forward, I'm gonna look through all my mirrors to make sure it's safe to do so. And then you guys gonna go forward. And then brake. This is a success test. My service brake holding this vehicle in place. Now I'm gonna pull my spring brake. I'm gonna put my vehicle in neutral. That completes your brakes. That completes the air, the parking brake, and the service brake. Now, according to the list, we're gonna check in the light indicators. The light indicators is gonna be right here on the dash, okay? This is my left turn signal indicator, my right turn signal indicator, my forward flasher indicators, and you guys gonna turn on the lights. My high beam indicator. All my indicators are working properly. Make sure you guys turn on the lights. After you complete the light indicators according to the list, is the emergency equipment. For the emergency equipment, I'm gonna tell into the examiner, this is my fire extinguisher. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking, securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's fully charged and properly graded for this vehicle. The pin for my fire extinguisher is on the lock position. Now behind me, under the seat, is a 3 reflectable triangles. They're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm gonna mention that under my hood is extra fuses for every single fuse that I needed for this vehicle. Now that I finished my emergency, now I'm gonna check in my windshield and traffic monitoring, okay? So, my windshield is not cracked, broken, or excessive pitting, and is securely mounted by the rubber seal. My rubber seal, I'm gonna make sure it's not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak to the inside. Now I'm gonna check my monitor devices, which is the mirrors. My mirrors, I'm gonna make sure they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My mirrors doesn't have any illegal stickers that obstructing my view when I'm driving. My mirrors are securely mounted to the arm securely mounted to the vehicle, no missing hardware. The same way I inspect this mirror, I will inspect the mirror on the passenger side. After I inspect the mirrors and the windshield, now they ask me to inspect the wipers and the washers. So I'm gonna press in the yellow one. My windshield wipers are working properly. They're securely attached to the arm securely attached to the vehicle, no missing hardware. My windshield wiper blade is not excessively worn or torn, and it's a full contact to the vehicle. As I demonstrate, my windshield washer fluid is working properly. Now, according to the list, I'm gonna inspect my defrost and my heater. So you guys gonna put this one right here. You guys gonna put the heater, and then you guys gonna turn on the A. Okay, when you guys start hearing the air start blowing, you guys gonna put your hand right here. My defrost is working properly, and then you guys gonna put your hand right here, and my heater is working properly. Now we're checking the list. We already checked the heater and defrost. Now they're asking to inspect the horns. This is my city horn, is working properly. That's everything from the inside that you guys already do it. We already inspecting all this section. Now for the light operations check, the examiner of the DMV is gonna be walking out of the vehicle, and he or she is gonna be in the front, and then you guys gonna start showing them the lights, okay? Remember, it's this switch right here. You guys pushing up, automatically coming 4 lights. The clearance lights, the marker light, the running light, and the low beam. And then you guys press it to put the high beam, my left turn signal, my right turn signal, and my forward flashers. Now you guys are not telling to the examiner of the DMV, can you assist me with the back of the truck? When they start walking to the back, I want you guys to turn off the lights, and then look either to this mirror or the passenger side mirror, depends where they go. Make sure they go all the way to the back. When they are on the back, you guys gonna turn on the lights again. This is my clearance lights and my running lights. My left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flashers, and you guys gonna press the brake, and my brake lights. That completes your light check, okay? When you complete your light check, you guys gonna turn on the lights and turn off the vehicle. Now I continue with the sheet that you guys gonna have the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna start doing the pre-trip on the truck. We're gonna do the front of the truck. We're gonna inspect the lenses, the fluid levels, the fluid and air leaks, and the steering system. We're gonna follow the list, okay? So today I'm gonna start doing the pre-trip, follow the shearing sheet, okay? The first thing I'm gonna inspect, according to the shearing sheet, is gonna be the lenses, the fluid levels, fluid air and leaks, and the steering system. And then I'm going to start inspecting the tires, the rims, the lug nuts, the spring mounts, airbags and shock absorbers, brake lines and hoses or leaks, brake contaminates, and then the side of the vehicle, lenses, reflectors, and then traffic monitoring devices, which is the mirrors, fuel tanks, battery, frame, and the rear of the vehicle, and complete my pre-trip. Okay, starting from the front, I'm going to start with my clearance lights. They're amber in color because they face in the front of the vehicle. They're no cracked or broken. They're securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm going to inspect the cover of my lights on this light and on this light. I'm going to make sure they're no cracked or broken. They're securely mounted, no missing hardware. The light right here and the light right here. It represents my low beam and my high beam. They're no cracked or broken, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The amber light on this side of the vehicle and the amber light on this side of the vehicle, they represent my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flashers, and my running lights. I'm gonna look under my vehicle. I'm gonna make sure there's no puddles indicating that any type of fluid is leaking. I'm gonna look through my vehicle to make sure it's not leaning to either side, indicating the suspension problem, flat tire, or that my load is shifting. I'm gonna look under my vehicle again. I'm gonna make sure there's no hanging hose or hanging wire. Now I'm gonna open the hood. When I open the hood, especially for the DMV, it has to be 3 points of contact. So I'm gonna put my foot right here. And then with the two hands, I will open the hood. Once I open the hood, I'm gonna come into this side of the vehicle and I'm gonna start inspect it. But I see the coolant reservoirs on the other side. So we come in right here on the other side. And the first thing I'm gonna inspect is my coolant reservoir. My coolant reservoir is no cracked or broken and is securely mounted, no missing hardware. It's on the proper level. If I need to add fluid, I will add it through the cap. The cap is no cracked or broken and is securely mounted. It's on the tight position. The rubber seal under the cap is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. After I inspect the coolant reservoir, I will inspect my windshield washer reservoir. I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken or leaking, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The cap is on the tight position, it's not cracked or broken. The rubber seal inside is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. I will mention that my windshield washer reservoir is on the proper level. Now I'm going to go to the other side. On this side, the first thing I'm going to inspect is my oil dipstick. My oil dipstick, I'm going to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or leaking, securely mounted, no missing hardware. If I need to check the oil on my truck, I will pull it out, wipe it in, reinsert it, take it out, and see the level of my oil. If I need to add oil, I will add it to the cap. The cap is on the tight position, it's not cracked or broken, and it will not leak. The rubber seal is not excessively worn or torn. If I need to add fluid, the oil, I will add it by the gallon. Now, I'm going to inspect my power steering reservoir. I'm going to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or leaking, securely mounted, no missing hardware, and it's on the proper level. The caps for my power steering reservoir, they're not cracked or broken, and they're on the tight position. They're not leaking. The rubber seals under is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. Now, I'm going to inspect the hoses. I'm going to touch in every single hose. I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm going to inspect all the wires on this side of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure all my wires, they're properly routed, no exposed wire, no frayed wire, securely mounted, no missing hardware. From there, I'm going to go to my steering system. My steering system, this is the drive shaft of the steering column. I'm going to make sure it's no cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's securely mounted. It's securely mounted by two U-joints. I have one in here and one on the top. My U-joints, I'm gonna make sure they're no crack or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. And as I pull it on my steering column, it should be no more than 10 degrees of play. From there, I'm gonna inspect my steering box. My steering box, I'm gonna make sure it's no crack or broken or leaking, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. After I inspect my steering box, I'm gonna inspect the frame on this side of the vehicle. The frame on this side of the vehicle, I'm gonna make sure it's no crack or broken or damaged. I don't see any legal holes or legal wells, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Now, after I inspect the frame, I'm going to start inspecting the tire according to the list. My inside tire, the outside of my tire, and the face of my tire. I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. They're securely mounted to my rim. This is a steering tire. It's not allowed to be regrouped, recap, or retread, and it's not allowed to have less than 43 seconds of the depth tread. I will check in the depth tread with a gauge, a tire depth gauge. This tire, because it's a steering tire, it has to be the same on the other side, and it could not be a mix match. Okay, after I inspect the tire, I'm going to inspect my rim. I'm going to make sure it's no crack, broken, or damaged, and it's securely mounted. I don't see any legal holes or legal wells on my rim. My rim is securely mounted by the lug nuts. I will touch in every single lug nut, make sure they're on the tight position, they're not cracked or broken or have any distortion. My lug nuts holding my rim, and my brake drum in place. After I inspect the lug nuts, I will inspect my spring mounts and airbags. First is my spring mounts. I have one in here, and I have one in the back. My spring mounts, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My leaf spring bushing is right here. I'm gonna make sure it's not excessively worn or turned, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. After that, I'm gonna inspect my leaf springs. My leaf springs, they're not cracked or broken or shifting, and they're securely mounted, but 2 U-bolts, shim, the spacers, and 4 nuts under. After I inspect my my spring mounts, I'm going to inspect my shock absorber. My shock absorber, which is right here, I'm going to make sure it's not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted on the top and on the bottom by the shock absorber mounts. My shock absorber is not leaking. After I inspect my shock absorber, I'm going to inspect my brake lines, starting for the hose. My hose for my brake lines is no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Now, I'm going to inspect my brake liners on the truck, which they're right here, in this section right here, okay? So I'm gonna inspect my brake liners. I'm gonna make sure they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're not allowed to have less than 1/4 of the inch of the material. And I'm gonna inspect my brake drum. My brake drum is not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted. I don't see any sign of decoloration indicating the overheating problem. Between my brake liners and my brake drum, free of debris, grease, or any other contamination. After that, I'm gonna start walking to the back. And when I walk into the back, first I'm gonna check my mirrors. My mirrors, I'm gonna make sure they're not cracked or broken. They're securely mounted to the arm securely mounted to the vehicle, no missing hardware. My mirrors, they're not cracked or broken. It doesn't have any legal sticker. Okay. Now, I'm gonna check my battery box, which is gonna be right here. My battery box is not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. Inside I have my batteries. I'm gonna make sure they're securely mounted to the vehicle, no missing hardware, and there's no corrosion on my batteries. After I inspect my batteries, I'm gonna check my lenses and reflectors. My lenses and reflectors, you guys have a clearance lights right here, amber in color because it's facing the front of the vehicle. It's not cracked or broken, securely mounted, no missing hardware. And then I'm gonna inspect the reflectors, which is gonna be my DOT tape. My DOT tape all the way around the truck. I'm gonna make sure it's not excessively ripped or torn, and it's a full contact to the vehicle. And then I'm gonna inspect my fuel tank. My fuel tank right here is not cracked, broken, or leaking. And I'm gonna look under to make sure it's not leaking. My fuel tank is securely mounted by 2 straps. I have one in here and one in here. My fuel tank straps, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. The cap for my fuel cap is on the tight position. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. The rubber seal inside is not excessively worn or torn, and it will not leak. It has a safety chain to hold my cap. My steps on this side of the vehicle, I'm gonna make sure they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware, free of debris, grease, or any other contamination. Now I'm gonna inspect my depth tank. My depth tank is not cracked, broken, or leaking, and is securely mounted, no missing hardware. My depth tank cap is on the tight position. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking, and is securely mounted. The rubber seal inside is not excessively worn, torn, or leaked. I should not drive in this vehicle while less than 1/8 on the tank. Now, according to the list, I'm gonna start inspecting the frame. I'm gonna inspect the side rail on my truck to make sure it's not cracked or broken and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. I'm gonna look under, and I'm gonna inspect the cross members from here all the way to the back. My cross members, they're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. The frame on this side of the vehicle, I'm gonna make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. I don't see any illegal holes or illegal welds. After I inspect my frames, I'm gonna start walking to the back of the vehicle. When I get into the back of the vehicle, I'm gonna start from the top to the bottom. First thing I'm gonna mention is my clearance lights. They're red in color because they face in the back of the vehicle. They're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. My door, open and closed properly. My door latch is on the lock position, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's securely mounted, no missing hardware. The lights right here, this one right here, and this one right here, it represents my reverse. It's not cracked or broken, securely mounted, no missing hardware. The light right here, and the light right here, it represents my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my forward flashers, and my brake lights and my running lights. They're not cracked or broken, they're securely mounted, no missing hardware. They're red in color because it's facing the back of the vehicle. I will walk into this side. I will inspect this side of the vehicle, the same way I inspect the other side of the vehicle. That completes my pre-trip.